Is this the first grass platform you've ever been on?
I'm visiting every station in Cornwall. In the last episode, we started travelling up the Atlantic coastline. Today, we're going to complete that up to Newquay. Is it going to leave me in awe, or am I going to be disappointed?
So you just couldn't stay at home, could you?
Could not rest.
So you come out in Storm Agnes or whatever it is.
Storm Agnes to go to the sunny, delightful Newquay.
So you've just come from Newquay, haven't you?
I've just come from Newquay, yeah.
Am I going to enjoy it when I get there? I've been before. But...
It's windswept. If you thought it was desolate and miserable at Falmouth Town, you're in for a shock at Newquay.
Wow, okay. The hood's come up. I need to clean. I'm going in the shelter. Somebody's making himself comfy. I've hot-footed it to the shelter because the rains have come. First time I've come across a station with a gravel platform. Not a lot here, but they are building some new houses there, which this one sleeping here doesn't like.
Ruined the station.
Just like at the last station, there is something disused around here from when it was taken over by the Cornwall Minerals Railway. The Treffry Viaduct sits just to the south of this station. Maybe future Jen is going to go for a walk over it. I'm not going there in this weather though, so. So here, just south of Luxillian, is the Treffry Viaduct. This was constructed as part of the network of Treffry tramways. When the tramways were taken over by the Cornwall Minerals Railway, the route was bypassed, and you can see the newer route down there. That's the route we've been travelling up and down. This viaduct is also an aqueduct, and you know I love my water. Under these stones is a channel that would have been carrying water to the mills further south. It's completely dried up now, but there is evidence of that at either end. And as far as viaducts go, it's got rather nice views of Cornwall. Periodically you'll see a few gaps in a few of the stones where you can peer into where the water would have gone under the old tramway. The water here would have fed some mills over in St Austell Par direction. So just here and at the other end of the aqueduct and viaduct is where the water would have gone under what would have been the track bed. So the track bed would have continued from the viaduct here, down here towards Luxillian, where it continued its journey further north. What is impossible to do is to find a viewpoint that can actually show the scale of this viaduct. But it's quite big. It's not the biggest, it's not enormous, but it's impressive. It's still impressive. This part of the platform is gravel.
It's gravel.
But we can keep walking down here just fine, because the do not pass this line sign is
a long way away.
So we're coming to the end of the gravel, and now we're on a grass platform.
It's grass. There ain't many of them around, and you can legitimately come on this grass. It's not, you're not trespassing or anything on this. Is this the first grass platform you've ever been on?
This is the first grass platform for me. I think we should start a campaign to make all platforms grass.
Yes.
And you can just sit on them and
Picnics,
have a picnic.
Yeah.
One of the things I did notice when getting off the train was the gap was the smallest gap that I've seen that wasn't intentionally step-free access. This station and the trains that serve it are closer to step-free than most stations in Manchester. Don't get me wrong, it's not completely step-free, but it's just tiny. How long till the next train?
27 minutes.
27 minutes. That's enough time for a drink, isn't it?
I think it's definitely time for a drink.
Pub.
Pub.
Pub, 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 pub,
Pub,
pub.
pub, 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 pub.
Right, while I'm here enjoying the sun at Leland, it is an amazing moment to say a massive thank you to my lovely Patreons. They are scrolling on the screen right now. They have helped bring me to Cornwall. Many of them have chipped in extra support to help make this week-long trip happen. I am so thankful for everybody on that list. If you do want to get your name onto that list, the links to do so are in the description. But to everyone who has helped get me here to Cornwall, massive, massive thank you. It means so much to me. Okay, that was a nice pub.
That was a nice beer.
Maybe going to my head though.
Yeah, honestly.
KM.
Good job the next request stop's pronounceable.
Is it? I don't even know what the next stop is.
I don't, it's your plan.
Right, I've got to say it. I do believe I've gotten the whole trip in Cornwall without saying it, but I'm a little bit moist.
I'm going for the Kenny look.
Oh my God!
Look at Kenny!
Okay, it's gone very, what should we say, atmospheric out there now. I was walking down there earlier. I'm glad I'm not walking down there now.
Did you call it atmospheric?
Yes.
It's down.
Quintal drowns?
Quintal drowns? No, the sun's come out now. We're not drowning in the rain now.
I have never known the weather flip this much as quickly.
You know what they say in Scotland about wait 10 minutes? Scrap that. It's wait in Cornwall, wait 5 minutes.
Are we going to have a nice end to the day in Newquay? I'd kind of resigned myself to a bit grim.
Trust me, Newquay will just cancel out any good weather you have. It's your essential station.
Oh. You know what, mate? We're done here. We're done here. There's not a lot here. There's a big sign that says stop. There's a level crossing. That's about it.
I was just coming up to you to say, this has got a gen rant all over it, this shelter.
I've already ranted about a shelter in this episode.
It's not a bench, it's a perch. It's 3 sides of the shelter are missing.
To be fair, that's got one more side than the shelter at St Cullen Road.
Oh.
So it's already doing better than one other station on the line. Quintal Downs itself is pretty much just a settlement that's based around this roundabout. It comes with its own Premier Inn. It's not a particularly exciting place, it's just somewhere on the way to Newquay, really. This tiny little place in the middle of Cornwall has more real-time bus information than Manchester can manage. The big city of Manchester can't manage this. Well, I would get nice shots out of the window, but GWR haven't cleaned a train in about 20 years. This is Bugle Station. It's a former island platform, but between the 60s and the 80s, when the other line was completely removed, that was only used by freight. It was actually accessing the Carbis branch. So basically, since the 60s, passenger services have only been using that line anyway. We've got 15 minutes here. Somebody mentioned there's a co-op, and a co-op means a meal deal. Maybe I could get myself a Ginster's pasty. I'm sure that will go down well. Clearly, back in the day, probably the longest platform we've seen on here today.
Yeah, it used to be massive.
Maybe a good time to talk about the Mid-Cornwall Metro plan.
Yeah. The Mid-Cornwall Metro plan, because everyone loves a good metro.
Yeah, the in way of describing things, isn't it? A metro. So they want to turn this line into half-hourly.
Half-hourly and run it through Newquay to Falmouth.
And both lines are going to need a lot of work to make that happen.
Yeah, definitely. That little shenanigans at Penryn's not going to be good enough. It's good to see some investment come into Cornwall on the railways.
Yeah, you were saying how it's often bottom of the pile.
Yeah, yeah. The 150s that end up in Cornwall are dying.
They're the kind of 150s you have to wipe your feet on the way off.
It's like going to a nightclub on a Saturday night. You wipe your feet when you're leaving.
They're unloved. Don't hate me, Cornwall. To be fair, at least the co-op sold something that was vaguely Cornish. The Spa had walls, like pasties and sausage rolls and stuff. That doesn't sound Cornish to me. There is no way to buy an actual proper Cornish pasty in Bugle. I'm hungry. I'm having a Ginsters. Just off the platform at Bugle here, you do have the evidence that there were more tracks here. The alignment of that bridge doesn't make sense to be a track that went to that platform, but I'm gonna suspect there were sidings. Given there was a lot of like freight work around this area, that doesn't surprise me. 150s. Here at Newquay, this is a sad station. This is a sad, sad station. You can see the remains of a platform over there. It's definitely seen better days over there. Another platform face over there. It's really sad. Stations like Newquay show why everyone drives to Cornwall on holiday. Newquay gets really, really, really busy with cars in the summer. Why would you get a train along the line that we've just travelled? The trains to come here, they're slow. They're only every 3 hours. They're old. They're knackered. This is why people just jump in the car. Yes, at summer weekends, you do get through trains from London, but even that comes at the expense of all the local stations. Those through trains from London just decimate that 3 hourly service the local stations had, and they get like 1 or 2 a day then. You've got to look after the people that live here. This line, for me, sums up everything that is wrong with rail travel in this country now.
I hate to say it, but you've just summed up this line pretty damn well. For me, it's a line that's got a lot of potential, and I really hope they give it that potential with the metro scheme they're planning.
Those metro proposals, all well and good, but the moment a summer Saturday comes, are they just going to throw them out the window so that the Londoners can...
The thing is, with a frequent service, I don't think you'd need the free services from London, as long as they made it good connections at par. There is a train going to depart in the next couple of minutes. If we type in St Austell, the quickest method of transport, the bus. I try to be very positive about train travel, but this line, just, you can't be.
This line has, again, left a sour taste in my mouth. I love Cornwall, but this is...
Yeah. The way to look at this line is so much potential, but sadly so much untapped potential.
I was going to go onto the beach and wrap up there, but I've kind of just said everything I had to say. So I've still got a couple more episodes here from Cornwall. We're going down the Lou Valley line, which should reinvigorate me after today. And then we've got the last few stations in Cornwall. I'm going to leave a link to the next video that I think you should watch just here. But until next time, bye-bye.